The supernatural horror It Chapter 2 is a film that's played with problems. Seriously, how could they have gotten this so wrong? Because the first film is great. This one right here is pretty underwhelming, to be honest. For the record, I did see this film about 2 or 3 years ago. I just didn't remember the story all that much. But coming back to rewatch this, I was reminded of why I didn't like this movie in the first place. So, taking place 27 years later, the Losers Club have disbanded. They're adults now living their own separate lives. But when another tragedy occurs in Derry, Maine, then it's up to Mike to call up his old friends to bring them back to the city so they can take care of Pennywise once and for all. You know, I would consider this a bad movie, but not to a point where it's a bore fest. There are some entertaining moments here and there. It's just that the screenwriting and the characterization is done pretty poorly. One example of this is the character of Beverly. In the beginning, she is married to an abusive man. I was like, wait, why is she with him considering what she unfortunately went through as a child with her father? It's moments like that, plus other things that really just frustrate me with the writing. Anyway, overall, I'm not invested with these characters like I was in part 1. Plus, it's just too much that goes on that actually is a disservice to the story. And generally, I also thought this could have been a whole lot better if some things were fixed as well. When it comes to the acting, one of the standouts here is Bill Skarsgård, once again playing Pennywise. The only issue I had with his performance, he's barely in the film. Seriously, Pennywise has less screen time than in the first movie. I'm like, really? And you know, all of the CGI being overused, it really didn't do nothing for the story here. To make matters worse, the Losers Club, they split up in a certain part of this one. And then they think about their childhood. I'm like, really? I get that the kid actors, they were portrayed to show up here again. But really, it's just sloppy storytelling, to be honest. Like, the flashback scenes that happened several times, it kind of felt unnecessary. I really felt like it should have focused on the adults a lot more. Bill Hader, another standout here, he did a great job portraying Richie. I really do like this character, whether it's adult him or child him, because he's so funny. Speaking of which, why is this film more funny than the first one is? And because of that, it feels less scary. And then there's James McAvoy portraying Bill. I did like his performance here. I mean, it's fine. And of course, Jessica Chastain, her performance as Beverly, well, it's not that great, but I wouldn't say it's terrible either. She returns to Derry, all of the Losers Club do. There's Ben, which I thought the actor that played them did a decent job. And of course, Mike, who is portrayed by Isaiah Mustafa. Thing is that this film, while it is played with some problems, at the same time, I don't necessarily hate it. But I'll be lying if I say I wanted to look at it again because I don't. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because the cast didn't have great chemistry with each other. I mean, other than Bill Hader, it's like he's the one that really carries the group. And I get that this film takes place 27 years later and all, but I really felt like, okay, they tried to force too much exposition in this long run time. Speaking of which, why did this film have to be over 2.5 hours? It drags on, it becomes underwhelming. I'm like, can we please get to the finish line because this movie just takes up so much time. And to make matters worse, you remember Harry from the first movie, he's in this, but you take him out of this film and well, the movie is largely unaffected. Nonetheless, when it comes down to it, this is not one of the worst horror movies I have seen over the years. But at the same time, it's so problematic that it does make a dull watch, in my opinion. I'm giving this film a 5 out of 10. Yeah, it's pretty mediocre, nothing special about it when it comes down to it. But what a disappointment, and it's a shame considering this could have been one of the best horror films of the late 2010s. If only the writing was on the same level of the first one. And of course, the character development actually meant something here instead of just being all over the place. And that's my review of It Chapter 2. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.